Welcome back to Champions, whereas Fnatic is the first team to book their trip to the quarterfinals. Tom, Ryan, and myself are hopping on the desk for the final series of the day, which will sport our very first look at Envy and X10, the two final teams to step onto this VALORANT Champions stage. Sorry, we're in Berlin, and so I jump all the way back to Masters. Out in the group stage for the very first time. It's going to be an interesting matchup, I think, because as we've talked about on a number of our matchups so far throughout this tournament, there's a clear favorite. There is an expected victor. But in both senses, we've seen those kinds of matchups go different ways now here on the Champions. It is underdog day,
It's underdog day, like Fnatic, I guess. Slight underdogs in that matchup. I think definitely in the first matchup as well, we're looking at as an underdog story. I would say in this one, like if you're going off percentages, this would definitely be the craziest upset of the entire day. But at the same time, I also feel like X10 are the biggest unknown in the entire tournament.
I think the reason why it is that is because Envy get into the grand finals of Masters 3 looking so good through this tournament. You kind of expect them to bring more of the same. They've had some time to sort of fix out some of their issues. They've got some new backroom staff with Czech coming in. And really, when you look at the players one by one, you look at the Crashies, Yay, Marv especially, definitely the best agents at their respective roles through Masters 3. And you expect more of the same.
I think that's the thing. Like in terms of a team that I think fits best into the current meta of what we're seeing in VALORANT. Also, as you sort of mentioned, some of the players who are best at their specific roles. Like you're talking about a superstar Jet in the form of Yay, who's just been superb throughout the entirety of the last event. The best player, excluding maybe Nats, and they're on incredibly different roles. And then you go down to like the same with Crashies in the form of the Sova. Like it has been a team that I just think they have picked up all the pieces along the way. And now they're one of the favorites in this tournament. And X10 are very different.
Without a doubt. And it's an important reminder, their placement in Masters Berlin, because while it might be a little bit of a red mark on their record, the way that they exited in that grand finals, and people will maybe forget the way that they got there to begin with, not dropping a single map on the way, and in large part due to the exact thing you're talking about there, Tom, the individual skill in every single role across this team. We've already talked about Finesse, we've talked about Crashy, we've talked about Victor, we got to talk about Marv as well.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the discussion of who was the best Astra player before this tournament started, I personally would have gone with Mako. A lot of people would have gone with Marv. And I think it's a case of, like, it's not even just utility. It's incredible for Marv. He is one of the better players when it comes to those stats. But it's also just how he's almost taken that Nats-esque play style of playing close into smokes, being ratty, being very much in the forefront, like this clip, just trying to take these engagements one after the other. That's what made him shine in Masters 3, and I'm really excited to see what he does, especially considering that controller role hasn't really changed that much meta-wise, has it, Tom?
Well, one of the things I wanted to actually look at was sort of statistics that weren't just from someone like Yay. Because, like, if you go through Yay stats, you're talking about, like, top 1 in opening duels, top 1 in ACS, top 1 in basically everything.
We're probably going to talk about him a lot during this series.
It's a bit of a sort of a boring sentiment, I guess, at this point, because we know how good he is. So I started looking into those assist-style players. And I think especially if you exclude the final because of how it actually went down, you're looking at, like, players with, like, the top 5 in terms of assist rate, which is so strong in terms of the depth of this roster.
So, again, full stacked lineup through all 5 roles. So now comes the fun part, where I get to challenge you guys to find the to find the explanation for X10 as a team. You already said they're the most unknown quantity here at the tournament. So as best we can, let's set it up for people. This is a team that has been to multiple international tournaments in VALORANT so far this year. So no strangers to the stage, and yet it still feels like we can't necessarily put a finger on them.
Yeah, it's not like we're looking at this team to come in and just be tragic, for example. It's just more that the dominant period where X10 got those points, those circuit points to be involved in this event, was the start of the year. Like in Masters 1, they were good. They were the dominant team in SEA for Stage 2. But it was after Reykjavik the things started to go downhill. More noticeably, Patipan leaving the team because of wrist injuries and now just coming back. Missed out in that period for Stage 3. And kind of one of the reasons why they weren't in Masters for Berlin either. Just losing that player is such a big loss.
Yeah, like I think even their the qualification for that, they were playing with a different player altogether. So it was like a really weird sort of scenario that they've now had to test different players on different agents. And And even in the qualification to tournaments prior to this, they were just mucking about. Like, they were playing maps with 4 controllers. I don't think that's something that we've ever seen before. I think it's Fox's most played agent over the last few months is Yoru. Like, I feel like that in itself is almost setting it up to say that they have hidden Stratch to such a degree that we have absolutely no idea what they're going to do here.
Yeah, I don't think they know. Like, they genuinely said that at the start of the show. We don't know. It's just
That's
that
true.
200 IQ play. They can't anti-strat us if we can't even anti-strat ourselves.
Yeah, the video, top of day. Boom, threw it out to the world. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing, and in part because of that player you've already mentioned, PattyPan, right?
Yeah.
Like, he is so unpredictable. And one thing, though, that I can say for certain is that he's an international star, both in his play that he displayed in Reykjavik, the chaotic nature of it all, but also his personality. This is the kind of guy who's going to jump onto the stage. He's going to come at you with that kind of stuff. And so he's going to put on a show regardless. And that's where I wonder when I look at teams like Envy, who can be known to find a way to control their opponents and really, pin them down. How is PattyPan going to be able to kind of break that mold and throw them a curveball?
Well, the fact is, one of the first times we ever saw him, we were sort of going into this like, so yeah, he plays a lot of Jet. And then one of the first maps he played, he was like, Sage. And we were like, wait, what are you doing? And then he was walling himself over mid in ascent and just headshotting people. And we were like, okay, this guy is crazy. And then some of the next games, he went, okay, so we're gonna get the Jet now. And he went, right, so I'm playing Viper. Yeah. And we're just kind of sat there like, how are you performing to this standard? I think he was actually, but he didn't play that much on this age. I think it was like 40-something rounds. But he was the highest statistical Viper in the tournament, even though he's a Jet.
I wonder why.
That's just wild, right? Okay, I got good news for you guys, though. We're rolling right along. Map vetoes are ready to go, so we're going to dive in. And when it comes to this map veto process, again, I have a lot of questions surrounding X10 for one of the reasons that you just talked about. What they've shown recently, things like 4 controller, while we meme about it, but then I'm also like, well, so do you care about the maps that they're playing that on? Like, how do you even approach, as Envy, this map select?
Well, that's kind of the thing. I feel like Envy are almost going to ignore everything that they have seen from their opponent in this matchup. They're not going to be trying to counterpick. They're not going to be trying to look at their opponent's map pool. They're just going to pick the maps that they don't like to play and get rid of them. And we saw that at the last Masters. They were just basically consistently banning out Breeze. So I'm curious to see if that's still the case or if that's something they've now incorporated in and maybe moved on to, say, the other new map in the pool.
Yeah, Fracture is just going to change this up. We spoke about it with the Ascend game, right? Of just like Breeze is now probably going to be seen a lot more than Masters because the new map gets banned out. This is no surprise. Even if you're looking towards the start of the year, X10 never really liked to play bind. If you go back to Reykjavik, which realistically is one of the only 2 tournaments, that's interesting though. Envy banning out Fracture. They usually banned out Breeze. I wonder what the Breeze is going to be like.
Well, that's why I'm so happy you made that point a couple series ago, mid-cast, that you feel in a number of ways that that Breeze will be the map that can determine the ultimate winner of this tournament, because with Fracture now in the pool, okay, so we're going to it straight away. A map that was once perma-banned by Envy is now going to be played straight out the gate.
Yeah, it is actually the map that we saw the 4 controllers out from X10, and I pray to God they don't do that again, because I will have a genuine meltdown. That included a Brimmy, by the way, which I don't think anyone wants to see, but it does probably mean that it's a map that has also been worked on heavily by Envy if they're letting it through.
Yeah, and X10 done a favor to everybody else in the tournament. Like, okay, if Envy ban out Fracture now, how good is Envy's Breeze?
Yeah.
And we saw that as well, like with Gambit yesterday. Just a whole aspect of like their icebox didn't look good. So teams, if they play up against Gambit, will maybe want to exploit that. So the Ascent, again, is not too much of a different pick from Envy. They really like to play Haven from Masters 3. They won it consistently up until they ran into Gambit with Redgar's Reyna. But their Ascent was strong as well, just some dominant results throughout, and I can't imagine meta-wise they're going to be changing up too much either.
Yeah, I think the other thing to almost premise in this matchup is I think no matter what map we're going to, Envy are going to be favored, especially with just the sheer individual skill that they have across their roster. The other thing that we might see is that they might even test out a map here and there. I am a little bit worried, though, that if we end up on something like a Haven, where they have just been so unbelievably good,
of course.
which we will, I just don't like, even if by some miracle their Breeze is awful, which even from the matches we saw before Masters, it wasn't. They were just losing to top-level teams. So even if they somehow lose that, they now get basically what I would consider their best map as the 3rd in the series.
So what if it turns out the Breeze is actually super insane for Envy? every other team is looking at this map pool and going, "Holy Toledo, this is going to be a nightmare."
Toledo. I like that one. You should coin that phrase.
Yeah, you know what?
I've never heard it before. What do you mean?
Doug is ripping his hair out right now. He's ripping his hair out.
Yeah,
at
to
the
be like
hotel.
us.
Exactly. He wants to grow up and be just like you, Ryan.
Oh Lord.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, the maps are locked in. We're gearing up and getting ready to go in just a moment. We are going to throw to a quick break, but we'll be back shortly to get us towards Agent Select and eventually into this final best of 3 of the day. We'll catch you here soon.
Time slows down when it can get no worse. Wishing there was something left to lose. This could be the day I die for you.
Welcome back to Champions. I promised you a quick break, and we delivered. You didn't believe me, but we did.
I didn't make it back to my chair. I had to run. Like.
That's why they cut to my single there. Give you a second to get back into your seat. It's X10, it's Envy hitting the stage for the final series of the day. I say stage metaphorically, as you may know at home, that this one will be played remote. But a reminder of the 3 maps that were picked. It's Breeze, Ascent, and Haven. If we make it there, Breeze is the one that will kick us off. That's X10's choice. We have no idea what to expect on this map because Envy has had so little play on it, although admittedly have picked up a few games, and X10 seem to be willing to do pretty much anything on this map.
Right, if I see 4 controllers. I know
want to see. You have no idea how badly I'm internally rooting for 4 controllers.
No. It won't happen. It was something that they did in like a smaller regional tournament just for a bit of fun. So it's not actually going to happen, all jokes aside. Like, I think that they've lent into a much more comfortable comp, and I think the main thing that I'm excited to see is Padipan. I'm a little bit sad that with him like doing his little runouts onto the stage when we were in Reykjavik, that was one of my favorite things. I think in terms of walkouts, he was the only person that came anywhere near Boaster. So the fact that that's not going to be happening, it brings a tear to my eye. But realistically, I want to see him in the server as well. Like, if anybody's going to be able to challenge versus the likes of Ye, it has to be him, and that is a tough task.
Yeah, it was just like the walkouts were noticeable, and also in the game, he was a delight to watch. He had one of the highest ACSs in Reykjavik, despite losing 2 games and winning 1. Cruz, as well as a player to highlight, was like still in the top 10 for playing a Sova. So, and another thing that I want to mention about the Patipan show, when X10 won Masters 1 in the Southeast Asian region, it was without Patipan. It was with a player called Pooh One Tap, like Winnie the Pooh, not like an actual Pooh.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
Thanks for that clarification.
Like the fact that we're seeing a bit more KO on this map as well from both sides. So this is a very different look. I also wanted to mention Envy's defense was the question mark as well in Masters. Their attack was insane. Their defense was a little bit easy to catch out. And considering the attacking-sided maps that we've seen of Breeze, maybe Envy are going to be put under a little bit more pressure than we maybe anticipate.
Yeah, I'm liking this as well. I do think there is a little bit hit and miss when it comes to KO, and I know that with C9 running it, I feel like a lot of people have been doing that. Although I will say, we don't actually know. Maybe someone else was cracking it versus C9. They went, that's a good idea. We're going to play first.
Yeah.
We'll play it first, and then you'll be like, oh, they came up with that. When in reality, FNS is fuming, just like, this was
right.
The entire time.
I mean, Ascend played it top of the day today, right?
Wasn't great.
Wasn't great, and that's where I'd love to be proven wrong. One of the KOs will win here.
That is true. One of the KOs has to
KO's
succeed.
win rate will increase in a sense, I guess. I don't really know. Predictions, though, I think we've, in a sense, tipped our cap to who we think is going to win, but I got to get you on record. I got to have the graphics come in. That way, if you're wrong, I can flame you endlessly. So, Tom, I'm going to start with you.
Do I need to do this quickly, or can I like fade
You
out
know
a
what?
little
Yeah,
bit?
take your time. You're only going to piss off however many people are out there, you know, on Twitch
These phases
watching
are
the
just
show.
fine. just for anybody wondering.
You want to?
Yeah. There you go.
There it is.
Envy. See, I didn't say it, so you can't
Graphics
get me.
beat you to it. Oh, that was his plan all along.
To be very clear, this is the team that I expect to win, not the team that I want to win. Because if
Okay.
X10 win this tournament is completely topsy-turvy. Like,
my
we've already
goodness.
seen upsets today. Let's make it 3 out of 3. That's what I like.
Let's burn the place down. Why
Yeah.
not?
I swear, man, I said this to you an hour ago in the green room, but Tom's personality is pure chaotic evil. Like, that's it. That's all he wants is for things to just be on fire always. And so while I try and make sure he doesn't light fire to the desk, we're going to toss it over to our
got a lot of
casters,
paper.
DDK and Sean Garris, to get this series underway. Can I find a fire extinguisher?
Well, here we are, Sean. Yeah, so they kind of set it up quite nicely.
Yeah.
It would be topsy-turvy is how it was put there just on the desk
Yes.
if X10 pull out a result. And in terms of just doing prep for this, I feel like my head's all just all over the place because it feels
Same.
impossible to understand what X10 are doing.
Yeah.
Their comps are all over the place.
Yeah, their comps are all over the place. They run a 5 duelist comp. Patty's been gone for months with a wrist injury, finally back. I am stoked to see this Jet versus Jet battle, and we are kicking it off with a B hit, Dan. Look at this, X10 all grouped by elbow. The wall is already down at B. They're telegraphing this. 3 Envy players here, and Ye is going to push elbow.
Got the Sheriff. Oh no, he's been completely caught out by Patty there. The slow push up elbow, as you highlighted, will pay off. And that's a nice early advantage for X10.
Oh, look at the reposition, though. They're going through the mid doors. They're meeting up with the Cypher down there. This site's open, Dan. This is free.
It absolutely is. We've got a retake that's going to have to be set up here, but Finesse actually not able to win the battle there, and that's unfortunate because they're looking for the retake, but now they've got no players left to actually set up a coordinated retake. It's a 2 versus 5, meaning Marv and Crashies are going to have to hit some incredible shots. Marv starts things off nicely, Crashies as well, and suddenly a 1 versus 2. Foxy very low. And Patty's going to swing up. The timing is very much with Patty on that one. And X10, they're going to pick it up. And we're going to get to see them start off with a round advantage.
That is a welcoming round into the tournament for Patafan. He's been gone for quite a while, but you know, kicking it off with the frag onto El Diablo there on Cat, putting him on notice. Whew. But Envy's rebuy on Breeze, Dan, nonetheless. On defense, this is a very bold play from Envy. Very bold.
I kind of like it because, again, if you're playing against a team that is going to get this early pistol and want to run their game, you're going to be as disruptive as possible. As the experienced team, Envy, you definitely, I think, put them in a good spot here with this.
Yeah.
Incredible players.
I'm gonna cut you off here, Dan. They're working up halls right now, and there's no Sentinel utility here to notify Envy. Envy's all grouped by halls, but if you notice, X10 is spread all across the map. They could easily grab the spike and roll to either site right now.
And those Marshals looking for those opening bits of damage. To soften up these players, the Marshals will make the other weapons extremely potent if you get some of those initial tags. So we start to have a movement from X10, as we can see, towards that B site with the spike.
Ooh,
Still 2 players in halls, though, and there we go. We get the very aggressive Viper wall coming across, and Envy have to start to wonder what is going on.
I don't think I've ever seen that Viper wall used. That is a great wall. And Foxy with the recon to get into the B site, the drone to make sure no one's pushing up, post plant. I am so impressed by the spacing and timing on these X10 pushes.
And this is the first thing you have to deal with is the halls players, and that's going to slow things down somewhat. Envy now starting to encroach upon the B site, but these post-plant positions are certainly going to be strong here. Stinger comes out, huge there for Finesse, able to swap out and create that presence on the flank. That's going to enable the remainder of Envy to start pushing from spawn, but Sushi Boy with a nice defense there, keeping this alive so far for X10, and more than that, in fact, it's going to just close it out. 2-0. What an interesting round.
So that was very interesting, and I think I'm scared for Envy right off the bat, Dan. I can tell you, based on how X10 is spacing out the map on that round, as well as the pistol, how they pushed up elbow, and it was all just a diversion to go into this A site through the doors. They're looking really good right now, 2 rounds into this Breeze game, and they're spreading out this base default again. We have KO working up sands towards A. The Viper's going to throw that poison orb up deep in halls. And meanwhile at B, the two, the Viper and the Killjoy are going to aggress.
Just sitting in window. So Sushi Boy will have a lot of fun with the Bulldog. So that aggression has been stuffed immediately. Looking for a response now from Envy. We've got, of course, Ye pushing down elbow, seeing what he can find. And at the same time, push toward the A site. This is going to be spotted out by Victor. He's going to have to try to deal with this one. Only the Classic, though, doesn't have enough in him to deal with Patty this time around. And that's the A site busted open.
That's so good. Dan, this X10 team is impressing me already. I just want to tell you what happened. So that guy at B peeks the window, spots the double push, gets the frag, peeks elbow. They see El Diablo there. Ye is at elbow. So what do? They immediately pounce on A because they know 3 people are over at the B site, max 2 at A. Likely 1 has to be holding mid, though. So Patafan dashes into his smoke and creates that opening. X10, this round is all but over. There's 0 chance Ye wins this.
Yeah, no idea where any of these players are. They don't know where he is just yet, but he needs to get the fortunate timing, and that's not with him. Sushi Boy will finish that one off with the Bulldog. Lovely stuff, and that's a 3-0 victory there at the beginning of this one. But we're yet to see Envy on a full buy, so looking forward to that. But yeah, they've been buying into a lot of these rounds, so
yeah. They really dug themselves in a hole, economically speaking, with that second round buy. It's a very risky buy, forces you to save on the third. This is their first full buy. Marv has the Viper's Pit. I'm curious if he's going to pop that off the bat. And again, though, they're setting up the Viper and the Killjoy both on B. I think A is real vulnerable right now for Envy, and that's actually where X10 is poised to attack.
And that's one of the reasons why they have Ye here as well. The operator has the dash, can take these forward angles, get that early information. Buy time for the rotation. Looking for the first peak. He's going to find it. What a great bit of game sense there from Ye. Very aware. Cruz goes down. And that's the early 5v4 in favor of the defenders, Envy. And Ye's repositioning. He's so active.
And there's that Poison Orb. We've been seeing that all tournament long so far. Denies vision for the Halls player, and you can see the response coming out of Crashies to drone through. Gets no info, but that in itself is info. Dan tells them no one's working up Halls.
And now I think the intentions are known. Got the quick KO knife coming out to suppress a bunch of players. Get info as to how many are actually there, and Spike will go down. X10 trying to now defend the Spike, and Ye is doing more damage here. Victor up close, can't break that forward line here. Crashies though starting to work on it, and we're going to get this reinforced fight at the back of the wall by the right side pyramid, and Sushi Boy's trying to hold on to this one by himself. He's been good with the Bulldogs so far, but so many players, not happening this time around. And X10, they get the Spike down at the very least, but actually did they get the Spike? They didn't actually get the Spike down, so no bonus money.
Yeah, so X10 now moving into this first real gun, I guess, because now Sushi Boy is going to upgrade from that Bulldog. They're going to have full, Vandals, Phantoms across the board. I'm curious if Patafan's going to buy an operator again. He might have Blade Storm online at this point. We'll have to see. I think this is likely the round we might see Marv end up using that Viper's Pit.
So we go, lots of players from X10 here looking toward that B side. They go quite fast, but they're just going to be found immediately thanks to the KO knife. And Ye has all the warning in the world, holding the angle. He was towards A at the beginning of the last round. Maybe they were trying to evade him, but you can't evade El Diablo as he looks for more, going close to the toxic screen here.
Oh, they res Cruz back up. He's back in the game, Dan. And if you look, Envy is all rotated over to B, and X10 is reeling out of here. It was supposed to be an all-out B play. But once the suppression blade comes in from Victor, gets all 5 of them, the toxin screen has to go down. There's just no shot. They have to reposition. And look at this mid-round aggression from Envy.
Yeah, so interesting because there was so much time left in the round for reposition. As you say, the big push in Halls, I love this. It gives Envy a very good sense as to what's going on, and also they have faster rotation times, and they may have outpaced X10. X10 have been waiting around, and Envy's used that time to gain all this info. They're pushing the back line. There's a Cypher trip right there. They're going to blow that one up, and Foxy's got to be careful, stuck in spawn now. And he's kind of isolated, but they don't want to necessarily just waste time looking after Foxy. And now the rotation from X10 back towards mid, towards A. There's no time short. There's only 15 seconds to get the spike planted. Finesse could do so much damage here. How many can Finesse get? That's 2. Again, time is a huge problem. Finesse and Crashies will finish it all off. And Foxy's left with nothing to do. No time, no spike, no teammates.
Consolation orb, maybe.
No more.
Big frag for Foxy right there. Gonna save this Vandal, bring it into the next round. Should live
Watch
here.
them run when lead by my soul.
But what a round by FNS, the in-game leader coming with a 3K right there. I was very confused. I think even X10 was confused in this round. It's quite rare that you're going to get hit with that early suppression blade on Breeze. So when Victor got, I think, all 5 of them at the start of the round, that really messed things up. But the reason why X10 kept going is because Cruz popped the ult, the null command, on the KO. So they tried to just brute force it in, and it just didn't happen.
A lot of ults up in this round, actually, and there's that pause push, but Yay, he seems to always be in the right place at the early portions of the round. This has to be very frustrating for X10. What are they going to do here? They're going to keep challenging Yay with... Yeah, there's that Cypher cage. That's going to allow them to all fall away. And also suggests that they could push the angle. So Yay might actually want to get aggressive at a certain point. But there's a timing here as X10 rotate.
Oh dear, Dan, look at this. The Viper Killjoy setup. So, I said that this would be an interesting setup because it would make A weak. But dear God, I feel like B would be incredibly hard to take on this setup.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Snake Bite. Nano Swarm. The Poison Orb is also there, ready to get put up.
Welcome to my
Oh, we're going to counter Viper's Pit to allow the X10 players to push through, but FNS is just happy to spray forward. Yay, the same. Scary able to get back sight, but again, not too many teammates left. Ooh, taking some damage there from the Snake Bite, and he's alone. There's the first one there from Scary. Yeah, Viper's Pit catches another headshot. Very good effort, but too little too late there for X10, and we're all tied up 3-3.
Yeah, it was an interesting idea to pop the Viper's Pit right there, but Yay rotating spawn was actually the one that caught the first frag. He just opts someone right through it. FNS follows it up with one as well. It's just such a tight corridor. There's not much room. And I mean, there's not much time. You can't wait it out. So they're forced to go through, and here we sit, Dan, 3-3, another hobbled buy coming out of X10. Their economy is kind of, you know, lopsided right now. So after this save, they look to get it back on track. But Envy, maybe their first lead of the match.
Yeah, we might see an ult here from Envy as well. They are fully stacked on ults effectively, and see if they are going to try to burn one of those. Don't want to hold on to them for too long. We'll get the push-up pause as well. Cruz leading the way, and there is indeed that defender lockdown coming through from Envy, from Finesse. Slowing things down here for X10. See X10 having to reset out because of that lockdown. In fact, oh no. There's a nice one from Finesse, able to finish it off.
down A.
Patty will take him down though.
Still a 2-on-3, Dan. That Blade Storm's still online. This is still a very winnable round for X10.
Yeah, he's watching that mid-rotation. 50 seconds here. Oh, did Crashy spot a slither of a player? He may have done. Keeps jiggling this one. There we go. He's got the information. That's huge. Crashy's playing it safe. Giving his teammates the information so they know how to rotate around this one. So yeah, moving through the door back towards A. Crashy still trying to just
dashes out
30
of
seconds left.
the KO knife, Dan. He wants this frag onto Crash. He's bad.
And they're not giving it. Envy playing so disciplined. They know they don't have to fight. They know that X10 have to push onto a site, and they don't have anywhere to go here. They're going to have to commit the spike towards that B site, and now it's down to Crashies to actually just use the time against Patty to just make it impossible.
10 seconds left.
And he's just hiding backside. Patty's forced to plant. Crashies peeks at the perfect moment, and there's just nothing to be done.
Went down though, Dan.
He did actually go down, so maybe there's a chance for Scary if he can get there in time, but Victor ready in mid. And there's a defuse from Crash. He's so well played by Envy, honestly.
It really was, because there was a lot of fights that Envy could have given X10 in that 2-on-3, and they were playing so disciplined. Hats off to Crashies for all those jiggles onto the Blade Storm, you know, falling back into the site, playing the clock. And Padawan he stood no chance. He had to plant the spike. 4 seconds on the clock. Wow. 4-3, Dan. I think Envy all of a sudden has made a massive momentum change into this match. They went from looking like they weren't prepared or weren't ready, weren't warmed up, to they're way in the driver's seat now. And Ye looks real comfortable getting aggressive. He's going to go for this pick. We've seen him go for this twice now.
So we'll see if he can get something again at the beginning. Again, just always at the right place at the right time is Ye at the beginning of these rounds. And he's just putting another one. They're going to just collapse on that. A nice 2-for-1 for the defenders to make this a 4 versus 3 for Envy as X10 now reset back out of the A aggression. And they're trying to find somewhere else to go at this point.
Yeah, they're letting Sushi Boys lurk up through this elbow position. They know Marv has ulted on B. So that kind of makes an odd scenario because you're aware as a pro player that a Viper obviously has to take steps in and out of the Viper ult. It's going to leave a gap either at nest or elbow.
Here.
You can see Sushi just prodding around, trying to get a rotate into him. Sova also doing the same. X10 really spread out with these last 3 players.
They might try to recon into Viper's pit here to try to deal with Marv because it looks like they want to commit through this Viper's pit.
Retrieved the spike.
And that's really the only useful that they have to possibly deal with it if they were to do that. But of course, Sova over towards this A site, unable to offer that opportunity. So they're in a really awkward spot. However, the drone clearance will suggest that Foxy will have space on the site to plant, but it's given by Envy. They're playing really safe at the moment.
Ye barely getting out of there. I thought he might have gotten caught on a timing by Foxy. Foxy now aggressing up onto Ye, and Ye looks real aware of this, Dan.
He very much does. Foxy, though, is going to be very key. Patty picks up one. Hunter's Fury. Foxy looking for the perfect moment. They haven't spotted him. Foxy gets 2. He knows one more is around the corner. Crashies. Crashies will come back and just catch Foxy falling back. 1 more to go, and Crashies is good for it. Oh, that was very close.
He's going to res the boy. Get him up, Dan. Get him up.
And there we are. That was really close, though. It didn't look like
close.
It looked like Envy almost gave too much respect to X10, giving up the site so completely.
It really did, yeah. It's just like the second Ye popped that blade storm, he almost forgot that there could have been a guy in that corner.
Yeah.
The blood, and he was thirsty for that blood, Dan.
Whew. Nice timing by Foxy.
Very good timing.
Through the gaps and finds a quick double. Oh, I thought for sure he would get Crashies, that he'd try to go aggressive for that.
Yeah.
Give me.
I thought for sure he was going to go for the 3rd as well.
Yeah.
I think he got a little nervous because he started to try to kill the KO downed body. Like, oh, I'm running out of ammo here. Got to get out.
He's thirsting KO.
Yeah. So X10 going to use attack timeout here. Scores 5-3. Well, we mentioned this before, but it is an attack-sided map, so X10 kind of needs to get the ball rolling a little bit, you know, get on the board, because after the pistol round and the following 2 ecos, it has not looked good for them.
Yeah, and it was interesting because up until that round, Envy was keeping a careful management of their own ultimate economy. They were choosing to maybe burn 1 around at most, just try to keep that advantage for when they really needed it. Yes. That last round, that was when they really needed it. They burned almost everything. I don't think they have any left now, so that does, you know, sure, we didn't see a round victory there for X10, but in making it so close and convincing Envy to burn all those ults, they've now opened up more opportunities in the following rounds.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And something that we could look out for X10 here on this upcoming round is early in the game, they had a lot of success in these A-halls, using the Poison Orb deep, you know, waiting that out, playing passively, bleeding Envy's rotations, and using their comms and sound to kind of, you know, piece together a mid-round plan. We haven't seen that since the 3rd round, and I'm kind of curious if they're going to go back to that soon. Eventually, they're going to go back to it because it was so successful. It's just it might be telegraphed if it's on this round after the tap.
No, you're totally right. And somehow Ye has also been able to find his way to just the first action just every single time. So that's got to be very annoying if you're X10. This time Ye will be playing around the mid doors, looking to perhaps walk into mid and get some angles, but we've got an aggression there from Victor. He's been spotted, obviously, gets suppressed, but he puts a KO, but he's still going for it. Victor, extremely confident. Will he go for some more here? Backing away, he's got teammates here. It's good spacing between him and Finesse.
Oh my gosh, Dan, right off the tack timeout, the aggression into A main. Can you just completely shut down the tactic that the enemy team has talked about for the last minute?
Yeah, and it makes so much sense too, because right now, if you're X10, you have the ult advantage. You've got the KO ult, you've got your Hunter's Fury and so on also. So there's lots of ways to open up an exec onto a site, but you can't do that if that game is taken away from you. And they're going for the plan B, quite literally.
I know exactly where you
Both of those frags work out for them, Dan. The site's open. The neural theft comes in. It's free. The plant's going down. Oh my goodness. Look at this Viper lurking mid, too. Is FNS going to be aware of this?
It's pre-forcing. Oh my god. Oh, well, now he spotted it. But does he allow Scary to slow him down?
Yeah, maybe.
Scary's really out of position here. And oh my god, Scary is going to completely destroy Finesse. But on the side, we'll see Victor and Ye making their way forward. Victor very low at this point, Ye on that operator. And Ye does have the dash and the cloudburst still, and updraft. He's got the full kit to work with, swapping out for the rifle. A little bit more dynamic. Nice, takes his time. Where's the last player? Fine, Sushi Boys, I think you heard the step. Ye is going to save the day there for Envy and keep them on that streak. 6 rounds in a row here for Envy.
The rounds are very close for X10, Dan, but even though they're close, there's times in the round where they seem so out of it. They're putting themselves deep in holes, that 3v5 to kick it off. You know, I could see what Patafan was thinking. He heard Marv jump spotting in that corner, and he's trying to dash at him, but he never expected the player on the right. Luckily for him, Crashy's kind of whiffed a little bit. They get both of those frags. But man, the retakes, too strong.
Yeah. Yeah, you got some absolute killers on this Envy team in terms of individual skill.
Yeah.
There's definitely a big discussion. I think this tournament we're seeing that battle for supremacy as far as North American teams go between Sentinels and Envy. But we'll come back to that in a moment as we have the rounds now opening up quite nicely for Cruz and Patty. X10 taking that mid control. Talking up the individual plays there of Envy, we get X10 striking quite effectively. Trying to just now get that movement going towards that B site. The split works out.
What?
No. Patty was so unaware of that as well. That's somewhat outrageous. And now Marv finding himself in the 1v2, 8 health left. No idea where these two players are that he's against. No idea.
Yeah, and they've pushed out of the B side. This is a very hard round to read, but he has the Toxin wall, Dan. He might be able to put that up and get across into the site, but this should be a save with 8 HP.
I was thinking exactly the same. Just create a little channel for yourself all the way to the back of the site, but looks like perhaps just trying to get some exits. As you say, the 8 points of health. Not a good prognosis for Marv. So that's the first round for X10, actually, since the kind of pistol streak.
Very aggressive play into mid. I don't even know if there was much utility used. I just know Crew through the 0 point above elbow. It might have caught Ye. And then they just swung out, and they got both of the frags. They kept pushing into the site. This was just a round all based off trading and spacing, right? Not about layered abilities. I think Envy just got caught off guard that round.
Yes.
I don't know if they're going to be able to duplicate that.
So this is crazy if you think about it. It's 2 rounds left in this half. Massive, and I've been talking about this obviously in many of the rounds because it's so important. Big ult advantage now for X10 for the first time. We're seeing that for the first time. So that, if they have the XX to throw into the sites, they're going to be able to take sites off the back of these ults. Now the question is, will we see the same approach from Envy? Previously, we see Envy going aggressive to deny that early setup and maybe get some frags to prevent the executes from coming in for X10. So if I'm X10, I'm thinking about the ways in which Envy will try to make early aggressions in this next round.
Yeah, because that's exactly what happened at the end of the last time out. You're absolutely right. So I would be very on edge about these A pushes. Ye has had a lot of success opening things up with the operator at this A site, particularly because of the fact that the KO, on X10 is trying to farm the orb there every single round at shop. So you can see Ye is actually heading over to this A site, but I don't think he's going to go towards main here. He has his Blade Storm, Dan. He's about to get real fiery. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Patafan actually has the Blade Storm this round, and Patafan is gathering over here at this B site. Ye is going to push out into mid right now with an operator. But this, again, that B play, they're playing off in case the KO knife comes.
Oh, Finesse, is he going to get himself into safety out of the vision? He will.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my God.
What a push.
Oh my god, this could just destroy the entire round. Will he ever check for this? Oh, he's just going to pull the trigger straight away. And he is just dug into this position. Into the Cloudburst actually goes down. But he's not given all the information. He's taken out Cruz, the KO. So not the highest value out of all of the agents. But Patty will make his way to the back of the site. Still Hunter's Fury available. Still the Viper's Pit on Scary available. But Scary's actually playing outside, very far outside of the site.
Very far off. He's very fair of the flank.
Side push forwards now. Sushi Boy gets himself the one kill onto Crashies. The toxic screen comes up to allow Sushi Boys to get out of there. There's the neural theft too. So now they know precisely where Ye and Marv are. It is going to be so difficult for Envy, for the remainder of Envy. Time is against him, Foxy. Oh my god, Marv did not look good for that one. 2 versus 3.
Playing the mollies for the post plant. Has the poison orb on the spike as well. This is unwinnable. And they're taking a lot of those ults you mentioned into this last round, and they might be able to put 6 on the board.
Yes, yeah, it's looking very likely. And Finesse, he's got the lockdown ready to go for the following rounds. Both Crashies and Victor are 1 away from their ultimates, so we could see a pretty explosive round here in terms of that. But X10, finding some success, just grouping up going to B. One of the last times they tried that, Sean, and wanted to exec, they got hit by the 0 point straight away. And we're seeing that Ye and Victor are actually playing with the Jet and the KO towards A in a lot of these rounds. So it's a similar story here as well. And we're seeing X10 lining up towards B again.
And again, Ye is going to go with this elbow push. He hasn't had much success doing this push, but he's going for it again. Again, suppressed.
Ooh, it's very scary stuff. Aggressive push coming from X10. Up mid from elbow. Trying to split back into that B side once again. 3 kills, quick succession for X10. Finesse wrapping around the corner. Beautiful stuff there to try to equalize. 2 versus 3. Oh, doesn't expect the luck, but Sushi Boy not able to capitalize.
Welcome to my world.
That lockdown is still available, and there it goes.
The Viper's Pit is there too. They're not planting though, and FNS is holding them in. They're gonna have to go right into him.
Oh, they're not looking the right way. Oh, there they go. Find the frag, the trade onto FNS, and Marv has crept forward in the meantime. He's gonna hear the stepping, surely, the rotation. Did Marv hear the running? I don't know that he did.
Look at this, Dan. Sushi Boys is in A. He's put the trip up at the mid doors. He has the trip at A main. That means Envy can only come from spawn right now. The door's closed.
Oh, wow. Marv is in so much trouble. We have 2 snake bikes remaining as well for Scary, so... Oh, can you crouch under that? I don't think so.
No, this is that trip that I was referring to.
Oh, so unfortunate there for Marv. But can he win the gunfights? They're looking to double peak this one, perhaps. As long as they don't allow 1v1s, they'll be fine. And there we go. Scary finishes it off. 6-6 at the end of the first half. I mean, in my head, Sean, Envy were crushing this game until they weren't. So
yeah, I feel like there was a point in this game where X10 had this feeling like they just need to stick together, get gunfights, and they can win. They're just as skilled as Envy. And ever since that moment, I have been scared for Envy yet again. You know, here's X10 going shot for shot with one of the most skilled teams in the tournament.
Yes, I am very impressed with that because, as you say, they managed to win some of the gunfights. They are earning respect from Envy. And with that said, it's time to toss over to the desk. Have they earned the desk respect?
Thank you very much, gents. 6-6 at halftime. A very swingy, streaky game there. 3 going one way, 6 the other, and then 3 back in favor of X10 to equalize. I'll remind everybody that, as Sean Garris said, is considered an attacking-sided map, and so perhaps would have wanted to get 1 or 2 more rounds out of that half in order to be in solid position, but nothing to shake your head at here.
No, for sure. I think they got off to a solid start. You saw the adaptations come through from Envy being more aggressive, shutting down any of the plans that were there for the side of X10, and they almost just flipped the switch themselves, started picking up the pace, started getting in the face of their opponents. I think we've seen that Paddy Pan is definitely not afraid of facing off against Ye, because in those early rounds especially, Ye was getting the opener almost every single round, and towards the end, you started to see them almost just rush him down and shut him out.
Pretty sure the majority of the kills on Ye in that half, if you're looking at the bottom, was with that operator. And that was the thing that I think X10 found the most issues with, of just peeking around the corner, Ye getting the first kill 3 or 4 times within the first 10 seconds. But it was afterwards, so we saw like creative ideas from X10, certainly with the Viper lineups, the attempt of the Viper's pit to try and get onto that B site and being sprayed down. But it's just that aggression, like the Patsman dashing in onto the B site, trying to actually close that distance with Envy. It's theirs to lose, I feel, with Envy as well. Like, initially they were playing very slow, holding positions, and then they were running around like headless chickens towards the end. And that's just because X10 is really pulling and pushing them, good calls. And it's funny to see teams like X10 that we've not seen in a while innovate on a map like Breeze.
And I like the call out to the way that, again, the change of pace is what brought them success. And that's where you look to guys like Crashies who can find the information, right? I think a lot of it is on him then to kind of figure out, okay, where is it going to be coming from? Where's that pressure coming from? Relay that to the rest of the team so that they could try and stifle it. Of course, we're flipping sides. We're going attacking half now for Envy. And so I wonder for this squad how they really turn it on. How do they throw maybe some pressure X10's way?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the tougher thing more so for X10, because I think that's where you have an incredible entry in the form of Ye, but also 2 initiators. It's going to be a lot of information going the way of FNS, and he's a man who knows how to use it.
All right, well, X10 have kept it close, but they're going to have to put up at least 1 round more in order to take the map. And now we're back over to Sean and DDK for the call.
6-6, Sean. X10, they've got a lot of rounds to work with. And going into the pistol, can they make it happen?
I think they can, Dan. They're giving some weird looks right now. And look at this Viper wall at A, Dan. It goes into cave. It's just, you know, a perpendicular line.
If you're a fan of lines,
yes,
this is
great.
you.
And Envy is gearing up for an A split right now. 2 people working through the halls. FNS holding the flank. I think he's going to get this flank kill on Cruz, Dan.
Moving forward, Ye coming with that Sheriff and is labored, but manages to make it happen, still stays alive for another! Ye opens it up beautifully there. And now Envy are in good stead. Crashies holding down Cave, but maybe not. Victor on the other end of it, though, looking to try to recover here. Oh, such a heads-up maneuver there to just go for the player coming back. And now Victor, once again, playing it patient, finds Cruz as well. So all these pushes being deflected 1 by 1, leaving just Scary. Door up. Well, that's a huge sound cue, knowing precisely where Scary is in his elevated position. 3 players all across this A site. Got to deal with 1, but they're not giving him the rest. It's not going to be easy here for Scary, and he's going to go down. So Envy recovering quite nicely. I mean, Ye, excellent opening shots.
Yeah, I think if Ye doesn't get 2 right there, Dan, they're in big, big trouble, because FNS dies on the flank. Those players are coming through. You know, the door hit doesn't happen without these 2 frags. This was such a big shot from Ye. Last bullet in the clip. Whew.
Yeah, it looked quite sketchy, but does find his footing there, of course, in 7-6. So we saw, of course, X10 getting the first 3 rounds on the first half off of the back of the pistol victory. Can we see the same here now from Envy? X10 actually going for a full save, which Envy did not.
Oh, look at this recon from Crashies. It goes right in front of A-main. It's triple pinged everyone. What an arrow.
Ye turning around, trying to deal with this one. Ye annihilating players with the Sheriff. And now it's just Patty left. Ye's actually one off of the Bladestorm now because of all of that. And Victor will finish it off nicely, 8-6, but X10 now with the buy, and we'll likely have some of these Spectres carrying across. And if they can get Ye onto an orb, then
they could just get him the Bladestorm here, Dan.
Exactly.
If they really want. I mean, the orbs are free right now. You know, that shop orb, you can just go clean that up. But he's going to get the op. You're right. They're trying to end them right here, right now. The wall's already up at A from Marved. He's gearing up for that poison orb we've been seeing time and time again in halls. FNS on this mid lurk. He's just going to go straight into a pick.
Yeah, looking for it. Will Scary give it all it takes? It's just 1 peek, but the vision is obscured by the toxic screen, the poison orb, and Envy looking to explode straight through this one. Ye just dashes through 7 HP after just taking, just tanking the damage and the toxic screen. This is Viper walls all over the place right now. Oh my god.
Oh god.
This is just like a math exercise, like Pythagoras theorem. 4 versus 4 now, as the site is taken under control here for Envy. Looking for that plant. There it goes. Foxy jumping down, and the Viper's Wall is going to certainly obscure things here. Allow these Envy players to fall back into post-plant positioning, but not without losing finesse along the way. And here comes Sushi Boy, but it's not too much left. And that's a wrap there for X10. Envy converts off of their first buy.
Wow, it seemed like when Ye just dashed in and went down, gave him a clean 4 versus 5 to start, it seemed like, you know, X10 would be in a massively great scenario right there, right? But no, he actually got all the info with that dash, realized the setup, and then the rest of Envy just comes out and capitalizes immediately. Just trades out all of the frags in the A site, completely shuts down X10. And again, they're on an eco. 9-6, and Envy look to get up to double digits here.
Yep, and it looking to just go straight into B as well. Toxic screen there to cover all of mid from X10, but again, Envy have a clean access to that B side. They've gambled correctly at the beginning of the round in that sense, but X10, they've got Sheriffs, they've got a Marshal on Cruise. Might be able to do some damage here, and there we go, there's that first bit of damage. Yeah, he wants to try to create some space for the team, doesn't want it all to be stuck, goes out, no fear, straight away to spawn. Is there another one? Ye holding strong, looking very confident here. Victor to just help him out, and that's going to be most of X10 dealt with.
You can see Envy is feeling it right now down. Victor in particular, he came alive in this game. And honestly, ever since Ye has joined the team and he's kind of had to take a little bit more of a passive role, Ye used to be the aggressive duelist on this squad. But when you bring in someone like Ye, that player will inevitably take that role from you. So you can see when Victor plays now, he doesn't play as aggressive, a little bit more conservative. This is one of the best games Victor has played since Ye has come into the lineup, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been great seeing sort of Victor, you know, away from the sort of mega fragger kind of roles, you know, going to more of a secondary.
Oh man, they're just sending it via. I think the trips just went down because of that null command, Dan. The site's free. The Viper toxin screen's up. The plant will certainly go down.
Oh. And this is, I mean, it's one frag on the way back there against Finesse again. But there's no ults here really, except, I mean, Cruise ult, KO ult hits, try to work their way back in. I love this again. Envy, aggressive poking there, not allowing X10 to coordinate their retake. Just poking and prodding, and here goes again. Ye meets Scary and Spawn. All these sound cues now, ready to just exploit. Oh, a little bit awkward, but I mean, Mark's gonna get it done with style with the snake bite. 11-6, Envy closing this one out very quickly at this point.
What a strat. You just immediately pop the toxin screen, Dan, use the null command, drone through. I mean, there's just not many places to be at that point, right? You have no Cypher trips to stop the rush, no Viper poison orb to stop the rush, no turrets, nothing.
It's so cool as well to see how Envy are very active, and they don't allow retakes to be set up. They poke and prod and just do these little coordinated aggressions whilst the other team is trying to rally and position and get, you know, correct their spacing. So it's, I mean, it's got to be so hard to deal with that. And with Ye hitting shots like he's hitting, he's looking world class already.
Yeah, he's going aggressively into spawn right there. Like you said, he's trying to, you know, eliminate one of the spots of the retake, which seems crazy, right? Even, you know, coming from past FPS games, that seems like a crazy play to make. But when we look back at even the last series, the Fnatic versus Vision Strikers series, think about how much success Fnatic had at just constricting the site on the retake, flanking through while the other players remain patient on the other sides. Ye is eliminating that by aggressively pushing into spawn. He's not allowing that to even happen. So I think this is a great counter in the current meta.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's, I mean, it makes a lot of sense too, being on Jet, having some of those escape tools, giving him that kind of extra life in that sense. It's very potent and something that X10 have to constantly be worried about. But we go back in, 11-6 again. That's the score right now in favor of Envy here on this opening map of Breeze. And there's a lot of ults actually available right now for X10, so we'll see how they'll be able to use those.
Does that break the trip? It would. It goes right where the trip is, Dan. That's an insane shock dart from Crashies. Obviously, there was no trip there this round. Oh! That hit Foxy.
Oh, it did. Down to 24 health. Ouch.
That allows Marv to just sneak his way right into this corner.
And he can create so much presence.
And the shock dart ensured there's not a trip there. Look at this, Dan. They're regrouping towards this B site, and Marv's flank is going to be wide open when the site is hit. He's going to probably be third contact, which means there's going to be 2 frags that go down likely before Marv works his way through halls.
This is going to be very difficult. Envy setting him up deep, as you say. Now, looking to execute the pressure towards B. They don't have to be super committed, because as you say, with Marv in such a deep position, with some sound cues, Envy can play off of that info that Marv gets. Maybe Marv even finds an opportunity for a pick. So back into mid now as Envy look to try to catch rotations, and maybe Ye will find something. And there it is. He does find the opening onto
Marv
Patty.
is through.
Oh, this is so complex to like deal with this. Envy have so many opportunities now because of their early round setup. And Marv there, up on heaven, scanning into the site. He's surely going to catch somebody at some point. Foxy, though, catching Victor.
9 seconds, Dan.
And that's the spike down. And oh no! Foxy, he's just found that one linchpin of this round, and he is locking down that spike. There's no time, and Scary can just win. He gets the red ball clutch, but doing nothing. It's amazing.
Wow. Look at that from X10. You could see what Envy was trying to do, right? But when Marv comes through the lurk and ends up on the bridge, and they realize the Viper's Pit is still active in A main, as well as a KO holding the A doors, they can't even believe it at that point. They're probably wondering, why are there 2 people in this A site? We have been pinching on B for the last minute.
Yes.
But there's no time to go back to B.
It's so funny.
Wow.
The round was set up so incredibly intelligently. That's such a great round from Envy. That's so funny. Foxy, the one play.
Oh, they're going to run it back. Same shock dart, but you can see there's no trip there again. But that's exactly where that shock dart's blowing up. 0 point gets 2 people. That's a lot of information.
Yeah, feels similar to that last round. All this presence from Envy, taking that deep control. Marv completely undiscovered, and Ye can fall back now. Again, they've got Marv into that same deep position.
Yeah. The difference here, though, Dan, is that Envy is positioned all around this A site with a lockdown on FNS in the halls. This is going to come down to Patafan on this operator, but Ye wins the battle again.
Defensive Hunter's Fury just to slow things down here, but there's that lurk unlocked by Marv, and this is a much better look for it. Marv is just dropping everybody, but Foxy, with that return, can he win that next key fight? He can! Oh, this is dangerous, and there's nothing left for Ye. Beautiful. Foxy, again, back-to-back rounds where Foxy comes up with insanely important, impactful frags.
Wow. I actually kind of wonder, does that KO, does that count as a death?
I don't know.
He was down.
I think so. I think so.
I think it counts as a death.
I think so.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And this is where, again, Marv's push actually looks incredible. He gets 2 picks, but then again, Foxy wins these 2 key fights.
That's massive. The kill on FNS. I kind of wonder if FNS should have just ignored that and gone to through the door into the A site, you know, kept the pinch going. But wow, it looked like X10 was positionally outnumbered. When Patafan went down, it looked like they were in big trouble in that A site.
This gets very interesting now, Sean. We've got the Envy timeout, as you can see on screen. And we are at this point where suddenly, after 5 rounds in a row, we get these 2 clutches effectively from Foxy, these clutch plays that win those 2 last rounds. Now, Envy, you know, what are they thinking right now? I would say that they haven't really been doing anything wrong, per se. I mean, I wouldn't even necessarily change anything with how they've been playing. So, what are you expecting to see from Envy out of a timeout like this?
Oh, so if I'm FNS right now, what I'm saying to the boys is we're doing a great job. We're getting the entry frags. We're spreading the map well. You know, they're not picking us off early. They're not breaking our tactics up. We just need to be a little bit more cohesive and decisive in the mid and late rounds, right? That is where Envy is falling apart. They're moving too slow, and they're not moving together. They're not synergized as a pack after the frags go down. Now, if Envy tries to just scrap their old game plan and go to a new one, it could be a disaster.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's very easy to not understand that when you're in the game, when you're actually feeling things in the server. It could feel very different.
That's one key role a coach has is to say, guys, the best thing to do here is nothing. Just keep doing what you've been doing. But we'll see. Time will tell, and we're back into it. Round 20. X10, 2 rounds back-to-back, creeping forward on the scoreboard.
There's that Crashy's arrow that's going to go to the back of the B site. 0 point as well. That's definitely getting Patafan. Drone tag. He suppressed and tagged in.
Oh, feels bad, but they're not committing through. They're not committing through just yet. They didn't actually bait out a lot of util either.
No. Sushi Boy's looking at the cam confused. FNS lurking up mid. Might catch Foxy here. Or Ye. I'm sorry, that was Ye. Ye catches Foxy. Keeps getting these picks in mid.
The split setup, it looks very, very good for B at the moment, for Envy, but Patty at the backside with the operator, I feel like Patty could really cause some problems. Patty did not burn yet the dash, so I feel as though it's all on Patty's shoulders. Has to support the Sushi Boy. There's that first shot. I think gets a leg shot with that one. Marv takes down his assistants. But however, Cruz makes his way forward, takes down Ye. Another frag for him in mid. Beautiful stuff from Cruz. Patty holding it down as best he can with a shorty backside. But 2 versus 2.
FNS paused for a second there to put an alarm bot on the flank, and that's really, really big.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Able to take that one down, but Cruz now left to his own devices by himself. And Crashies, nice peek, good timing. And Envy secure the round. They secure the map point, 12-8.
Match point.
It looked like X10 had all of the right plays there, especially Patafan. I thought he did such a good job holding down the B site. He really kept on aggressing despite getting suppressed, you know, and played the angles really well. The clutch is all going in Envy's favor.
This is crazy because if Patty gets that extra frag at the back, you know, and it looks he had all the opportunities there. So marginal with the shorty, good distance. That would be a round for X10. So no operator here now for X10, and we've got Envy focusing on A. Yeah, looking for it. And just go straight into the A point. But big movement on the flank from X10 all the way down mid. 3 players down mid. Scary goes down, and that's unfortunate. Those retake walls are very important.
And the pit comes out. Dan from Marv, and the double flank is spotted by FNS. Oh my, gets 2. Patafan trades it out.
Player standing.
But we're still in a 3-on-1 with only Patafan up. It's over, Dan. There it is.
They've done it. Envy, they avoid any kind of a disaster. They gather themselves, they recuperate, and it's a 13-8 finish. But X10, they certainly look dangerous. They showed some very interesting strats. We know they have the very interesting compositions. And we also saw them winning some key clutches and gunfights. And that, to me, is one of the most important signals from them in their chances in this best of 3.
Yeah, I don't think this loss is from any kind of skill discrepancy, or honestly, like, it isn't tactically based as far as using abilities. It's more spacing on their attack half and working together as a team in those mid rounds, right? I thought they looked very weak in those scenarios in that opening map. Breeze is a hard map, though. It's huge. It requires a lot of mid gaming. So let's see what they can do on the next map, which is Ascent.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what they have. We know so little about this team, and so that makes them very exciting indeed to follow. And it is a story, a journey of discovery. And we're happy that you guys are here with us to go through that journey of discovery. And we did learn a lot about them on Breeze and some of the tendencies. We had some research, which we did, and we looked at some of the roles. And players switching around agents in an uncharacteristic fashion that you would expect at the top level.
Yeah.
But again, it didn't look like they were uncomfortable as a team, as a unit.
No, yeah, and when you listen to their interviews, so Patafan had, you know, the wrist injury. He was out for several months. They played without him, and they did a lot of work. They had a lot of practice. They tried a lot of comps. And when he came back, he still has this star role as the Jet, but the others have kind of switched around a little bit.
Yeah, and it was good to see that, you know, again, we see some of the things that we would expect to see of Envy, and as a sort of championship contending, winning team, you expect to see him peaking throughout the tournament. So I can't wait to see what the next match has to bring, but it's time for a quick break. We'll be back with more VALORANT action. Don't go anywhere.